OMGs, boys, girls, in-betweeners. Welcome! If you are just catching up on news, Nintendo just had their big Switch live stream where they announced all the big information regarding the Nintendo Switch. The release date, which is March, the price, which is too expensive for what it is, and other various bits of information. But if you're on this channel, you're on this channel for the fighting game news, and the biggest news that came out of this was, well, leading up to this, there's a lot of speculation regarding what fighting games would be potentially announced for the Switch. What reasons would we have to be excited about the console? And people were saying it might be Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, it might be Tekken 7, might get some Street Fighter 5 on there, you never know. And Nintendo came out guns blazing with Ultra Street Fighter 2. Yeah, 2. I think we can safely say that no one was really prepared for that. This is a potential remake or expansion on the Street Fighter 2 HD remix, which was released back in 2008, if you can believe it. Now, that's not all there is. That this game could be potentially an updated version of that. We've seen some screenshots you're going to see up on the screen right now, showing Evil Ryu, who's been added to the game, Violent Ken, who's from Capcom vs. SNK. You got 3 characters on the screen at once, things like that. So there's obviously some new content which has been thrown in there. But my reaction to this, if you want to know, is that I am shocked, disappointed, and mostly confused by the decision for this. Now, before I go any further, I want to make it very clear. 2 things. First of all, I'm not bashing Nintendo. I'm not a Nintendo hater. I don't want the fanboys in the audience to get upset like, oh, Reds, just landed into Nintendo because that's the easy thing to do for the last few years. And for the record, they've actually made it way too easy for us to make fun of Nintendo. But I'm not. I like Nintendo. I own a Wii U. I like the games. I hate Nintendo's business strategy. I feel like they're allergic to money. So that's my feelings on Nintendo. Great games, business direction not so good. Second thing is that really, when you think about it, I'm the target audience for this game. Not because, just because I'm a member of the FGC, but I grew up on Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 was the first fighting game that I ever played. Ever. And I loved it back in the day. I mean, I was a teenager when it came out, and I loved it so much that I would actually steal money from a coin jar that we had on top of the fridge. Kids, don't steal money, for the record. It's a bad idea. I'm not proud. But I did steal money from a coin jar to go down to the local fish and chip shop, because that's the thing that we have in Australia, to play Street Fighter 2. That's how much I loved it. So if anyone's going to love this, I feel like I should be the person that should be loving it. And I don't. So that's kind of like my initial reaction to this. So let me break it down for you. I'm shocked because I feel like this is not the way to bring in fighting game fans to your console. Obviously, you want to bring in, you don't just want the Nintendo diehards. Nintendo have been trying to replicate the success of the Wii since it came out, and they've been failing miserably with the Wii U, and I don't have high hopes for the Switch. So they want to bring in those new customers, and this is not the way to do it. This is like releasing a re-release of a game that came out in 2008 is not going to set the world on fire. It's not going to make people excited. So, very few people are going to buy a brand new console, which is not cheap, by the way, for what it is, hardware-wise. It's not a cheap console at all, with the price that they've announced. It's, what, $300 American? Something like that? It's only $500 in Australia. It's even more ridiculous. With these tiny little controllers, if you want to do a 2-player, it's not the way to do it. And if you're not going to do it that way, you have to buy an arcade stick, which is even more ridiculous. They do have, Hori have been working on an arcade stick for the Nintendo Switch. We've seen some pictures of it, but it's not the way to do it, I feel. And which leads to the fact that I'm disappointed because I feel like this is a huge opportunity to get a new fighter as an exclusive on the console, which would have drawn a lot of attention to it. Something like your Tetsunoko versus Capcom that we did see on the Wii. Something like that, which would give the Switch some credibility within the FGC, that people would say, okay, I gotta go out and buy my Switch so I can play this game. But no one's gonna do that for Ultra Street Fighter 2, I don't think. So, yeah, it's that's kind of, you can hear the confusion in my voice, and that's because, as I said, how did anyone think that a re-release of Street Fighter 2 with a few small tweaks would be a draw card? it perplexes me. Like, nobody but the most die-hard fans of Street Fighter 2 are going to be vaguely interested in this. So it really is just mind-boggling as to how they reached this conclusion. So overall, I really wish Nintendo had taken the opportunity to at least get Capcom to make a new IP for the Switch. Let's not go back to something this old. You know, forget 2008, this game came out in the early 90s. Come on, we can do better than this. As I mentioned, no one in the FGC is going to really give the Switch much thought after this. It's not going to be a way to include a large, or at least growing portion of the gaming public as a group of people who want to buy a system. And most of all, and most worrying of all really, is I feel like this underscores how low-powered the system is, because if you've seen the specs for it, it's running on a system which is basically barely more powerful than the Wii U as it is currently. And so to like have like your big fighting game release be this 2D game which came out on the 360 and the PS3 is just not the way to do it, guys. Come on. I said I don't hate Nintendo, I hate their business strategists. I think that they have had holes drilled in their heads, removing any sense of creativity or just any attachment to what the market actually wants. So that's my problem. I would love to love a game that they have shown off here, but I can't. So I'm, shocked, confused, disappointed, and I'm sorry if that guy doesn't, do that for you guys. I know that you come here sort of expecting me to be really excited about games I post videos about, but I feel like people would be curious to know what my thoughts on this game are, and I just can't get behind it at this stage. Maybe they'll show up something later on that makes me go, holy shit, I've completely reevaluated my position on Ultra Street Fighter 2, but right now, the first reaction I had on Twitter was, can someone take this and mail it to 1995 when I might have cared? And that's still how I feel about it right now. So that's it, guys. So I hope that this was informative. I hope that it at least gave you some thoughts and opinions which you found valid. And if you enjoyed and you haven't been here before, please like, subscribe, do all those things. We post daily fighting game videos. I'm actually good at some of them. I might be entertaining at others. I don't know. You tell me. Leave a comment below, and I'll see all of you very soon.